Why all EV charging companies are losing money. Imagine driving your sleek electric vehicle on a scenic highway, feeling good about your contribution to a cleaner planet. However, the concealed struggle that lies beneath that straightforward plug-in may go unnoticed as you approach a charging station prepared to refuel for the subsequent leg of your journey. EV charging companies, which are responsible for the powering of your vehicle, are currently confronting an uphill battle to remain viable despite the rapid expansion of electric vehicle EV adoption. The inquiry is, what is the reason? What is the reason for the financial losses of these enterprises, which are essential to the future of sustainable transportation? Let us investigate the 7 primary causes of this perplexing paradox and identify the obstacles that could potentially shape the future of the electric vehicle revolution. 1. Expensive initial infrastructure expenses. The high cost of constructing and sustaining the essential infrastructure is one of the most significant impediments to profitability for EV charging companies. The establishment of charging stations necessitates substantial investments in land acquisition, installation, and apparatus. For instance, the installation of a single fast charging station can range from $50,000 to $150,000, contingent upon the charger's type and a location. These expenses are especially taxing for organizations that are endeavoring to expand rapidly in order to satisfy the increasing demand for electric vehicle charging. Additionally, the expenses do not conclude with the installation. Maintenance and enhancements are perpetual expenditures, particularly as consumer expectations increase and technology advances. The financial strain is further exacerbated by the necessity to maintain stations that are operational and equipped with the most recent charging technologies. Furthermore, the costs are further exacerbated by the logistical challenges and reduced utilization rates that result from the fact that many charging stations are situated in remote or underserved areas to ensure broad accessibility. Consequently, EV charging companies are in a precarious position. They must make substantial initial investments to establish a comprehensive network of charging stations, but the returns on these investments are frequently delayed, resulting in financial losses in the short to medium term. 2. Variable demand and low utilization rates. The low utilization rates of charging stations are another substantial obstacle for EV charging companies. Although the number of electric vehicles (EVs) on the road is increasing, it continues to constitute a minor portion of the overall vehicle market. This implies that numerous charging stations, particularly those located in less densely populated regions, are underutilized. It is challenging for companies to recoup their initial investments and fund ongoing operating costs due to the fact that low utilization rates result in lower revenue. Additionally, the demand for charging services can be highly unpredictable, as it can be influenced by factors such as the time of day of the week, and even seasonality. For instance, urban charging stations may experience substantial decreases in demand during weekends or holidays, despite experiencing high utilization during the workweek. This fluctuation in demand presents a challenge for revenue stability, which in turn complicates the forecasting of earnings and the planning of the future for companies. In order to address low utilization rates, certain organizations have implemented incentives or partnerships with municipalities and businesses in order to attract additional users. The financial viability of the charging network is further compromised by the necessity of additional investment that these strategies frequently necessitate. 3. Competitive pricing pressure and price sensitivity. The electric vehicle EV charging market is extremely price sensitive, as consumers anticipate affordable charging options, particularly in comparison to the relatively low cost of charging them at home. This expectation places pressure on charge companies to maintain low prices, even if it necessitates operating at a loss. Financial losses are frequently the result of the insufficient revenue generated from charging fees to cover the cost of electricity, maintenance, and other operating expenses. Furthermore, the increasing number of competitors in the EV charging sector has resulted in significant pricing pressure. Companies are frequently compelled to reduce the prices in order to attract consumers, even if it results in a loss of profitability. In a market where margins are already razor-thin, this racing to the bottom can be particularly detrimental. Some companies have attempted to distinguish themselves by providing premium services, such as improved customer experiences or quicker charging speeds. Nevertheless, the increased cost associated with these offerings can potentially cancel out any additional revenue that may be generated through premium pricing. 4. Challenges in regulatory and compliance. The operation of an electric vehicle EV charging network necessitates the navigation of a multifaceted network of regulatory and compliance obligations. These regulations can be subject to significant regional variations, which can exacerbate the complexity and expense of conducting business. For instance, charging companies are required to adhere to local zoning laws, electrical codes, and safety standards, which may vary from one jurisdiction to another. In certain instances, these regulations can be particularly burdensome, necessitating a substantial investment in legal and compliance expertise. Furthermore, the process of procuring permits and approvals for new charging stations can be both time-consuming and expensive, resulting in missed revenue opportunities and deployment delays. Additionally, as governments worldwide advocate for more rigorous environmental regulations, charging companies may incur additional compliance expenses associated with energy sourcing, emissions, and sustainability reporting. Particularly for lesser organizations with restricted assets, these expenses may further diminish profitability. 5. Reliance on government incentives and subsidies. In order to ensure the viability of their business models, numerous electric vehicle charging companies depend on government incentives and subsidies. These financial provisions may manifest as direct subsidies, tax credits, or grants for infrastructure development. Although these incentives are essential for mitigating some of the substantial initial expenses associated with the construction of charging networks, they can also lead to uncertainty and dependency. In response to changes in political priorities or economic conditions, government policies and incentives can be subject to rapid change. For instance, the reduction or elimination of subsidies may result from a change in government or budget cuts, which may require charging companies to modify their business models. This reliance on external financial support results in a precarious situation in which profitability is frequently contingent upon the continuous availability of government assistance. Additionally, the competition for government contracts and incentives can be fierce, as numerous companies vie for a limited amount of funding. This competition can exacerbate the difficulty of companies achieving profitability by increasing costs and decreasing the efficacy of subsidies. 6. The requirement for continuous innovation and technological obsolescence. The EV charging industry is undergoing a rapid evolution, with the emergence of new technologies and innovations. Although this technological advancement is crucial for enhancing the efficacy of charging and the customer experience, it also presents a substantial challenge for charging companies. The necessity to consistently enhance and innovate can result in increased capital expenditures and operational costs, which can further strain financial resources. For instance, the development of new charging standards and the advancement of battery technology may render existing charging stations obsolete or incompatible with newer vehicles. This obsolescence necessitates that companies invest in expensive enhancements or replacements, frequently prior to the complete amortization of the original infrastructure's costs. Furthermore, the rapidity of technological advancements can impede the ability of companies to achieve economies of scale, as they may be compelled to continuously modify their networks to remain current with the most recent advancements. The industry's consistent demand for innovation can be a double-edged weapon, as it both fosters progress and contributes to financial instability. 7. The protracted path to market saturation and mass adoption. Lastly, the lengthy process of mass adoption of electric vehicles is one of the most significant obstacles that EV charging companies must overcome. Although the electric vehicle EV market is expanding, it has not yet reached the critical threshold at which charging infrastructure can be fully utilized and profitable. Charging companies are obligated to continue investing in infrastructure and operations, frequently with limited returns, until that occurs. Another factor that can impede profitability is market saturation. Competition for market share intensifies as additional actors enter the EV charging sector, resulting in overcapacity in certain regions. This surplus can further reduce utilization rates and prices, rendering it challenging for any single organization to achieve sustainable profitability. Furthermore, consumer behavior is changing, and the transition to electric vehicles is still in its early phases. Concerns regarding charging availability, range anxiety, and vehicle costs continue to discourage numerous prospective electric vehicle purchasers. This uncertainty presents a challenge for charging companies in terms of accurately forecasting demand and scaling their operations accordingly. EV charging companies must navigate a complex and uncertain landscape, where profitability remains elusive, while these challenges may progressively diminish as the industry matures. Conclusion: overcoming the obstacles ahead. The EV charging industry is currently at a critical juncture, where it is balancing the daunting challenges of attaining profitability with rapid growth. The financial challenges that charging companies encounter are exacerbated by a variety of factors, including the sluggish pace of mass adoption, technological obsolescence, regulatory hurdles, price sensitivity, high infrastructure costs, and reliance on government incentives. Nevertheless, these obstacles also offer opportunities for collaboration and innovation. Companies that are able to adjust to these pressures and identify new methods to enhance the customer experience, reduce costs, and improve efficiency will be more likely to succeed in the long term as the industry continues to evolve. Although the road to profitability may be challenging, the potential rewards for those who can surmount these obstacles are substantial, as the world progresses toward a more sustainable and environmentally friendly transportation future. Let us know in the comments what you think about why all EV charging companies are losing money, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.